Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to dive straight into this video because it is fresh on my mind. The situation that I'm going to discuss just happened about an hour ago and I don't want to leave any detail out, so I don't want to forget anything. So that's why I literally showered, got ready, and I'm ready to film because it's that much of an important topic, and I'm ironically excited to film about it because it wasn't the best experience. And I'll get a little into detail about what happened in a bit. Yeah, you guys, this topic is something that I haven't discussed yet, and it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people, but I know a lot of you guys can probably relate or, you know, kind of understand where I'm coming from. Probably have had a similar, if not worse, experience than I did today. So you guys, today started off like a normal morning. It's my day off. And I am a Starbucks person. I love my morning coffee, and I decided to go and get me and my boyfriend some breakfast and coffee. And it didn't go like my typical morning Starbucks run. It wasn't a drive-through, so I had to get out of my car and go inside. And you guys, before I get into the detailing, the whole purpose of this video was because I was racially discriminated because I'm Hispanic. We've all seen those viral videos where people are being told to go back to their country, being called this and that. It's crazy because things like that happen. Obviously, it just happened to me, but you would never think it would happen to you. I would always say, I'm like, I hope that happens to me because I would love to put a person in their place. When I see those videos, those viral videos of people being told to go back to their country, being called the worst names just because of their skin color or their race, and people just kind of take it and they're just like, oh, like, no, like, why do you talk to me like that? Like, no, I've always thought if someone comes at me like that with that amount of disrespect, knowing me, I know I would flip out. And I definitely did this morning. So you guys, back to my story. So I go to my Starbucks. I'm like literally half asleep, you guys, because I kid you not, I got out of bed, put on my shorts, my sandals, my tank top, my glasses, and my Nike hat. Didn't even shower. I don't even think I brushed my teeth, but I just went straight to the Starbucks. So I'm like half asleep, you guys. Like literally, I'm like, freaking not comprehending what's going on around me. But I'm a very observant person, even if I'm tired. So I knew in the restaurant or in the store, there was a total of 5 people. It was a woman and her daughter at the front of the line, and this woman, the one I had the altercation with, who was an older Asian lady. Remember that, you guys. Older Asian lady. Yes, an older Asian lady was in front of me. And then behind me was another Caucasian woman. So I was the only Hispanic person in there. Even all the workers, all the baristas or whatever they are, were all Caucasian, at least from what I could tell from the mask up. They all look Caucasian, blue eyes, blonde hair. And then there was me, the little Mexican boy, just in this Starbucks. And so, you know, I'm just in there, you know, people are ordering their food, and then there was 2 cash registers open. There was 2 employees taking orders, so it was one on the right, one on the left. I go to the one on the right, and then the woman that I had the issue with is on my left. And I'm just ordering my stuff. Again, I'm like half asleep. And at the moment, because it is Hispanic Heritage Month, Mexican Heritage Month, Starbucks, I love that they do this. They are playing Hispanic music, remixes with a Hispanic vibe, and it's all in Spanish, which is so dope. I mean, I obviously enjoy it. And that's playing, you know, while we're all in there. And the woman next to me, what should we call her? Let's call her, let's not say Karen, that's so played out. Let's call her Kathy. Let's call her Kathy. She don't look like a Kathy, but that's one thing I could think of. So Kathy is to my left. And, you know, I hear her, I notice that she's speaking, but I'm not really listening until I hear her say to the employee, she says, why are you guys playing this music? Why are you playing Spanish music? And it's not, she didn't say like, oh my God, why are you playing Spanish music? I love it. No, it was like in disgust. Like, why are you playing it? Like, how dare you play Hispanic Spanish music? And the employee was very polite. She was very professional. And she was like, oh, you know, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, you know, trying to, you know, kind of make the woman understand, or she didn't even have to explain that, first of all. Anyway, so she was trying to, you know, explain her reasoning why the company is doing what they're doing. And the woman proceeded and she goes, it's so loud. It wasn't fucking loud. You could barely hear the shit. And she goes, it's so loud. Oh, like just disgusted by the music. And she then proceeds to say, what does she say? God, come on. What did she say? What did she say? I'm not making this up. I'm just trying to remember because it was all so fast and I was like seeing red at that point. I think she said something along the lines like, it's so annoying. Like, she said this. She's like, you shouldn't be playing that. Not everyone speaks Spanish. Like, don't play just Spanish music. And that's where I was like, okay, no, bitch. And I look at her and I said, what is your problem with it? And mind you, like I said earlier, I was the only Hispanic person. I don't know if she could tell that I was Hispanic. She probably thought I was a different race because, you know, under these face coverings, you can't tell what people are. And mind you, I had a hat. Like, I'm obviously very like tan or brown, whatever you want to call me, but I could be anything at that point. And yeah, so I look at her and I said, what is your problem with it? She looks at me, she goes, they shouldn't be playing that. I was like, and that's when I flipped out. I was like, why the do you care? And then she tells me, she goes, mind your business. Mind you, we are literally arm to arm. That's how close these registers are. And I tell her, I'm like, if you're speaking next to me, you're in my business and I'm in your business. And then she starts to say, you're a very disrespectful young man, da 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 da. And I go, bitch, you're disrespectful. And I'm calling her these names, you guys. I'm not even being dramatic. I'm not trying to kind of make myself look better or trying to make myself look tougher than I am. I was cussing this bitch out. Mind you, I was pissed and I was like, it was insane. I was literally feeling like I was having an outer body experience because if you know me, I'm not a very confrontational person. I'm not one to start fights, but I will stick up for myself. And when I do, you know, I don't back down. It's not that I'm scared of anyone. I kind of handle my problems in a different way, but I am a tough guy. Like, I will set you straight and I will not back down from anybody, especially some fucking woman. And you guys, on top of all of this, before I keep going on about this Kathy lady, this woman was Asian. And when I say Asian, she was an older 50 to 60-year-old Asian woman with broken English, dressed literally in fucking rags, didn't look well put together, couldn't speak proper English again, but had the nerve to discriminate against me. And you guys, disclaimer, this is nothing against Asian people. I love my Asian brothers, Asian sisters. I have plenty of Asian friends. Nothing against Asian people. I love all races. I love all people. I love everybody. But my biggest thing was, how do you have the audacity to discriminate when people can easily discriminate against you? So that's where I was kind of like very mind blown. And I think that's what pissed me off more was like, had it been, not that it's good for anyone to do it, but it's like, girl, we're both a minority in a sense. Like, come on, like, get it together. So anyway, after that, it was just a bunch of heated words saying of us going back and forth to each other. Everyone in the restaurant was, I'm sure, like, you know, and like I said, I was cursing a lot. I don't think she ever cursed at me. I don't think she ever dropped an F-bomb or like anything, but she did tell me to go back to my country, put that on my life. She said, go back to your country, go back to your country. And I was like, bitch, I'm in my country. I was born here, what the fuck? Like, just because I'm Hispanic doesn't mean I need to go back to like wherever you think I'm from. And she just kept saying that, you know, that's always the go-to for racist people. Go back to your country, get out of my country, like, speak English. Like, bitch, I speak better English than you. Like, literally, like, you guys, I'm not kidding. Her English was broken. Anyway, she's, you know, blabbing on and like walking away, saying all this stuff. At this point, I'm like, okay, let me calm down. We're in an open environment. There's a little girl. And that's what I thought. I was like, I don't want to disrespect everyone else in this restaurant. Even though I was the one being disrespected, I at least am mature enough to know that there is a little girl there. There's, you know, other people. I'm like, let me calm down, you know, let this bitch get up on out of here, you know. That was that, and I'm still in the process of getting my stuff. The woman's out of the restaurant at this point. And what I liked the most was everyone's reaction in the restaurant could have gone one way or another. They could have easily been against me. They could have told me, they could have easily agreed with her and been like, yeah, little Mexican, get out, you know, because what I'm saying, I was the only Hispanic person in there. But it was a complete opposite, which I was extremely happy for. I wasn't surprised, you know, because I do feel that, you know, I mean, there are a lot of people like Miss Kathy, that are just so fucking ignorant. But the fact that everyone in the restaurant was kind of with me meant a lot. So the person that was ringing me up, the guy that was ringing me up, he actually was very sweet and just said he thanked me for speaking up. Mind you, he had no relations to her. He wasn't speaking to her, he was speaking to me. But he said, thank you for saying something. Like, really, thank you for sticking up for yourself. And I was like, sure, like, no problem, you know. He felt so bad, I guess, about the situation that I had in his, you know, store, that he gave me a gift card for, you know, the incident, which he didn't have to do, but I thought it was really sweet. So he said that, and then the woman behind me, that's when I realized that there was another Caucasian woman behind me. She kind of like politely taps me and says like, hey, I'm so sorry about that. And I think they thought I was like sad, or like I was like hurt, like, and I wasn't. I was offended more than anything. But yeah, she was very sweet to kind of, you know, reach out and see if I was okay. I was like, I'm good, you know. It's, you know, I'm glad I was able to say something. And she's like, you know, she was a very sweet woman. And then the woman that was actually helping Miss Kathy stepped around from the counter, came to me and just said, I am very sorry you had to go through that. Like, I wish I could have said something, but unfortunately I can't. And I was like, girl, don't worry. Like, I experience that all the time. I work with a variety of different races, and, you know, racism is out there. Ignorant people like her are out there. And, you know, she was very polite, she was very sweet. She's like, next time you come in, I'll take care of you. And I'm like, thank you. So that was that. I proceeded to leave, said my goodbyes to everyone and thank you to everyone. But Miss Kathy was parked in front of the restaurant, and she's in her car, I guess waiting for me, literally. Her door's open, and I knew it was her because I saw her go in her car. And she's just sitting in there, and I'm like, okay, like, my blood at this point is still boiling, and I'm still like in freaking attack mode. Something comes over me when I'm angry, like there's no stopping me. Like, I will literally keep going and going and going. And I will tell you the worst of the worst, make you feel like dirt, and literally won't stop until I feel as if I've gotten everything out. So I'm coming out, and she was in the most beat up car I've ever seen in my life. Literally broken down car, filled with garbage. Literally one of those hoarding bitches that has fucking fast food in their driver's seat, trash all behind their back seats, paint's all scraped all around the car. She had those like reflective things on her front windows. I was like, girl, what's going on? And so I'm walking to my car. I have to go past her car to get to my car, and she peeks out through her window and is looking at me, doesn't say anything. And this is what I'm telling you, like, something comes over me, like I get possessed. And I go to her window. She has it like she had her door open at this point, like halfway open. And I go to her and I say, next time you want to say something to me, don't do it as you're walking away. Say it to my fucking face. And then she goes, you're such a rude little boy, da 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 da, go back to your country. Like, I'm not even gonna try to imitate her accent, because that would be me being just like her, so I won't do it. But just imagine how broken her English was. An older Asian woman just like, meh, just talking all this fucking shit, telling me to go back to my country. Again, the same stuff, just over and over again, calling me, you know, she called me all the typical racist things that a person who's not Hispanic could tell another Hispanic person. So she's talking all this shit, and I know I called her a bitch. I called her, never said anything regarding her race ever. I think when she told me to go back to my country, I told her, okay, if I have to go back to my country, you go back to your country, bitch. The fuck? That's all I ever said. I never threw any Asian offensive comments out there. That's not me. That's never been me. That will never be me. But what I did say is, you know, as she's talking all this shit to me, telling me to go back to my country, that she was saying something about drugs, like, yeah, Mexicans are in jail because of drugs. And I was like, that's fucking great. I'm not. The fuck? Like, that's dandy. I don't give a fuck. Like, there's plenty of people in jail for different reasons. So anyway, you know, at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get through to this bitch. I'm sick of cursing her out. Like, at a certain point, I literally thought she was gonna get out of the car and like attack me because, you know, she's a woman, I'm a man. Who would go to jail, you know? So she's talking all this shit, go back to your country, wetback, this and that. And then as I'm, you know, walking away from her, trying to leave the situation, I go, oh, I'm the wetback. I should go back to my country, but look at your car and look at mine. You're in this busted ass car and I'm walking over to my brand new Jeep. I was like, get a new fucking car, you fucking broke bitch. I was, at that point, I'm like, let me fucking give her all I got. And I did, and that pissed her off. That set her through the roof, and she goes, this isn't my car. And I was like, you're fucking in it, what the fuck? How's it not your car? You're driving it. It looks like you live in it, bitch. You talk about it's not your car. And so that was the end of that, and I just walked to my car. I called my boyfriend, and I was like heated. I was like, oh my god, this stupid bitch is like telling me all this shit. And I'm on like FaceTime with him. I'm like driving how to go around her car to get out of the parking lot, and she's like at this point getting out of her car and like saying God knows what. I roll down my window, have him on FaceTime. I'm like cussing her out still. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. And that was that. That was the end of it. It was intense, guys. Like, it was crazy. Like, I came home, my blood was still boiling. I could not sit still. I couldn't even finish my fucking coffee because it was that much to take in. But yeah, you guys, it happened. It can happen to anybody. All of us can be racially discriminated. It's a known fact. It's gonna happen to one of us at some point or another. And you would think with everything going on currently that people would be a little bit more, I guess, loving, understanding, lenient on certain things, but sadly that's not the case. And today's a perfect example of it. But at the end of the day, I don't condone violence, but in a situation like that, I feel it's necessary. And again, I'm not one to sit there and try to make her believe like, oh, well, we're good people. Like, like at that point, someone that fucking far gone and ignorant, they're not gonna listen to you. They already have their preconceived notion of who you are. So at that point, you're gonna offend me, bitch, I'm gonna offend you just as bad, if not worse. And that was the case. So I hope she goes home in her junky car, probably has a junky house, and just thinks about ever trying a Hispanic person again. But yeah, you guys, that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys share this because I think this is definitely probably the most important video that I have yet to post. And yeah, if I offended anyone, I hope I didn't. Again, I love all my people. I love all races. I love everybody. Obviously not everyone has the same mindset that I do, but yeah, you guys, what I can say to you guys is definitely stick your ground. If this ever happens to you, just, you know, I would love to say be the bigger person, which you can be, but also don't let these bitches think they could just walk all over us just because they are better or have more of a higher, you know, being than us. So yeah, guys, that concludes today's video. Please comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.